Frankford Arsenal X-10. I got one of 50, so we're going to go ahead and unbox this thing, and let me show you some of what the box looks like on the inside. So the first thing you're going to want to do is flip this thing up on its side and undo the bottom, because it is so heavy that there is no way you're going to be able to lift this thing out of here unless you've got two people. Hold on a second. And then once you get the lid off, you can see how everything is packaged in here. You got your primer tubes, case feed tubes, press parts, bins. Everything's packaged really well. Nice hard foam. Cool. Once you take that layer off, then you've got your roller handle, your case feed, powder, and the actual press. Everything's all packaged in here super, super nice. Alrighty, here she is out of the package. I just took the plastic off of it so you can kind of see how everything is nicely done. There's a hold down die in there. This thing weighs a ton. By far the heaviest press I have so far in my mass collection of things in here. But look how well they did that. It's all zip tied, nice, holding it together. So we're going to go ahead and put on our inline fabrications plate. I'd like to thank them for shipping this out to me. Called them up, or actually emailed them, said, hey, I saw you got Randall over at Bragging Rights had one made. Can you get me one? They said, sure thing. Got it right out to me. So really appreciate that. So we're going to get this mounted onto this so we can start putting this thing together. In just getting out some of the stuff, here is the large primer assembly. And as you can see, they have got this thing coated in a bag. It's got lots of protectant grease and, well, it's not grease, it's just oil. But check this out. In the bin, got some tubes for your primers, but they sent me an FW Arms decapper, popper, which I was already going to put one. As you can see, I love my FW Arms stuff. I've got quite a few of their items. They've been really good to the channel here. They've sent me out stuff over the years to review, and by far, FW Arms decappers, swage hold downs. I mean, this whole press is going to have nothing but FW Arms on it because they are great. Well, I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say they're the best deprimers I have used so far. I've never had a pin bend or break, and I have broken one on every other style, even including the Mighty Armory, which are some of my other favorites. But I have broken a Mighty Armory, and I took an FW Arms after the Mighty Armory pin bent. I should say it bent. It didn't break. After it bent, I put the FW Arms on there, and the FW Arms literally pushed the piece of, it was a piece of stainless steel media, literally pushed the stainless steel media through the bottom of the case and did not break the pin or bend it. So FW Arms is a winner as far as I'm concerned. So another quick tip, make sure you pull all the boxes out of the bottom, because on the very bottom is where your bars are for your case feeder and your bin holders. So make sure you pull that bottom one out. Let's go over here. We've got the powder feed. Looks good. Roller handles right there. Got the small primer. I haven't opened it yet, but you can kind of see how it's all wrapped. That's how it comes wrapped. And then over here, we've got the case feeder. And I'll pull it out in a second, show you what's inside. All right, so we got the plastic off, so the lid opens up. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off the hinge. And as you can see, it is full of stuff. We've got a primer tube, looks like, and a whole bunch of other pieces, parts, accessories, all stuffed in here. I'll get them out and show them to you. All right, so we got everything out of here. Just so you can kind of see. Whoa, it does have the pistol and rifle plate in there. I pulled everything else out there, but comes with, you got your power supply, some screws, little bracket with some screws, power supply, actually, another one, USB cable, little thing. Here's your 2 brackets with your bin holders. And over here, these were in there as well. So these are your little tool cases, your accessory kits. So you've got your, looks like your large prime and swage with some nice grease on them, small and whatever. And then these are your buttons that you can swap out for the large Allen keys. And then over here is all of your case feed options. So you got your feeders and your drop tubes for the different sizes. So that's pretty much everything out of the box, minus my coffee cup. But like I said, everything was very, very well packaged. Definitely super heavy, but don't mind all my junk in here. Sorry about that. But we're going to go ahead and get this. Oh, well, just so you can see this, these are the shell plates. They came packaged with this, and these things are super heavy too. We'll pull these out and take a look at these here in a little bit. But these are heavy, so they definitely have to be built. If they're anywhere what this is, they're going to be built like a tank as well. So looking forward to putting this thing together. So we're going to start putting this on the inline fabrication mount over here and get this thing going. So just a quick update. You do have to take off 40 million screws, all the little plastic side plates on this thing to get to the mounting hole. So that is something you're going to have to do. But check that out. That's where you're going to adjust all your swage and your small priming. All that gets adjusted right in there. So when you put it back together, you're probably going to want to leave this plate off until you get everything set. But yeah, so there's all the plates off all the way around. There's one on every side, or actually this one has 2. So it had like a smaller one here and a smaller one here. But there you go. So yeah, you got to take off 1 million screws, 2.5 millimeter, or use the tool kit that came with it. So we've got all the plates back on. We've got it mounted to our inline fabrication. We went ahead and put on the roller handle, which is 1 bolt, super easy to do. We have taken off the tool head because that's what you have to do next. But I can just tell you just by running this thing up and down, it is like butter smooth, super nice. Over here we got the shell, or the tool head off. You can see all the lights. And we opened up the 9 millimeter shell plate, and man, this thing is a beast. But look at that. It just rides on bearings, and it is so smooth. I can't even begin to describe to you. And how heavy and nice this is. It's ridiculous. They have definitely stepped up the reloading game. So we've got the shell plate installed. And then we've also went ahead and put in the small primer, and I'm just following the directions. And also, just in case, Gavin Gear from Ultimate Reloader has a whole series on the Frankford Arsenal website, or I'm sorry, the Frankford Arsenal YouTube channel. And he does all this step by step, so he does a lot better job of me than explaining these things. But as you can see, we've got on the upstroke, and then we come down stroke, you can see we got primer, we got swaging, and then as we go back up, I mean, this thing is like butter smooth. I am super impressed right now with how smooth this is. Quick tip for you. When you're putting this together, you do have to put in the reducers for the case. So what I did is I just went ahead and took a Sharpie, and it's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but I went ahead and put the number on there. Now, the number is on these in plastic. If you look right there, you can kind of see it. Focus. There you go. I just went ahead and wrote on there with a Sharpie because they're mine. And that way I just can look at it real quick and I know which one is which. Because you do have to, per instructions, use different ones for different size cases and lengths and whatnot. So just a quick tip. So we've got a little bit more done. We've got the case, the case activated powder feed setup, primer system setup. Put the case feeder bar on. Now, I will say this. When you're putting this on, I had to take a hammer and tap this in. There was some little aluminum pieces inside of this rod that was just a little, the machining wasn't perfect. The bottom one slid in perfect to the hole. This top one got stuck right about here. I didn't have to hit it hard, just barely tapped it a little bit, just kind of break free some of the slop in there. But got that out, and so got the bin feeder on there, got all that. Man, look at this thing. Ready? Watch this. Oh, it's just so freaking smooth. All right, here she is. She is all ready. Here's the FW Arms popper decapper that came with it. Super nice. I'm just doing a basic setup for 9mm right now, so we're only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got the case feeder hooked up, way up there. Got all that hooked up. Got all the bins done. Got all the power wired. You got the the cool power button, so you can turn lights on and off. Then you've also got the primer sensor. So you drop this down in here, which makes that blink, which makes you know that, hey, there's your problem. So what's really another cool thing about the tool head is you see all these little plugs? Those are all 1/8 inch plugs, which means I'm gonna guess those can be used for, obviously, for a primer sensor. So what other sensors are gonna be in the future? What kind of upgrades are gonna be available? This press is gonna be pretty amazing, but it is rather large. I'm gonna keep scooting back a little bit. It's 40, almost 4 feet, 48 inches tall. It's a beast. I mean, look, it almost hits my Dylan over here, doggone it. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, but oh well. I don't care, I ain't moving it. It's too heavy. But there she is. She is all done. So we'll get some reviews going here pretty soon, as soon as I can let some 9mm get it going. I just wanted to give you guys a quick video of the box opening and the initial setup. So you definitely want one of these. I'm going to tell you that right now.